Class in session again. He's the Hoopcast 68. Powered by AnimalHeezy.com. Visit AnimalHeezy.com at your earliest convenience and invite yourself to Pistol Paco's new album, House Shit Forever and Ever and Ever. And at this time, like I always do, want to give a memorial shout out. R.I.P. my big homie Kahuna. R.I.P. my nigga Ray Jugoku. Straight like that. All right. Game 2. Sunday night. My nigga Trifecta said the Cavs gonna take game 2 in Oracle and ultimately lose 4-1. Then I sent him a GIF, because I don't say GIF, because ain't no soft G's where I'm from, hard G's. I sent him a GIF of Prince Akeem from Coming to America holding that broom. You know what I'm saying? And, hey, no disrespect to the greatness of LeBron, but I really hope this is a sweep, because I don't see the point in dragging out this spectacle of inevitability for the 4th time in a row. Nigga, Steph setting new records. Still set a record for the finals, 3-pointers in a finals game with 9 3-pointers, matching the entire Cavs 3-point output. Yeah, I'm like, let's just get free agency popping, and you heard it here first on the Hoopcast. Free agency will be way more cracking than the finals. But the Warriors offense is still gorgeous. Even with the likes of JaVale McGee and Jordan Bell clocking finals minutes. Of course, Golden State has the most obnoxiously top-heavy team in NBA history, but sometimes I feel like Steve Kerr has enmeshed the game plan so deeply within the team that I'm sure they know their offense better than I knew my last 2 girlfriends combined, which is probably why the Golden State Warriors are champions, and I, on the other hand, got offered a free Pornhub membership for visiting so much. But anywho, I saw Jordan Bell pass up a dunk under the rim to immediately whip a pass all the way out to Klay Thompson for a wet-ass wing 3-pointer. And I was like, if you got Jordan Bell doing that, man, like you have no offense on the other end. Whew. You might not have a snowball's chance in Hades, but you can't really fuck with Golden State, especially if your coach can't scheme on a Steve Kerr level. I think the Rockets was able to take it to 7 games because ultimately Mike D'Antoni could scheme on some semblance of the same level as Steve Kerr, which is why I would have loved to have seen Brad Stevens and the Celtics in the finals instead of this. I mean, you know, Bron is prime time, but from a basketball standpoint, I would have loved to see the mind of Brad Stevens go against the mind of Steve Kerr that helped create this juggernaut, unstoppable, unkeep-up-wittable offense. But on the flip side of things, on the Cavs side of the game, I don't know how obvious this already is, but LeBron has become a really good shooter. Like he was always serviceable. He could always hit open shots, but I think he's a knockdown shooter now, and it is amazing to see yet another step in his evolution, even in year 15. Bron is the greatest of all time to get smacked this much. He is the greatest player to ever get smacked this much and still rise to new levels of greatness. So I think we got to start putting Bron in that context. Fuck all of the who played in the 90s, who played in the 80s versus who plays today. We just talking about wins, which I feel like ultimately Bron will be the king of stats, especially having benefiting from an advanced analytical side of the statistic game now. He's gonna be the king of stats. But hey man, he got handed a few L's, from which he always seemed to bounce back handsomely, but he's been handed quite a few L's. So I think we gotta frame him in that context. Bron is the greatest person to ever go up against this onslaught of new talent in the league, and ultimately get smacked. But the Cavs team is currently crescendoing to implosion, which is fancy talk for there is nothing good about this team other than LeBron. And I don't even mean the roster. I don't think the coach is as best it could be. I don't think the GM, the organization is built in the way that Golden State's organization is built from the top down to succeed. Especially when you're going up against the Warriors, and you got J.R. Smith, 31 minutes, 5 points. Not even LeBron can overcompensate for that, especially against the Warriors. Or the Rockets, for that matter, if they would have played in the finals. Excuse me. Who cares shit, man? Name another basketball podcast. Hot take though, I don't think this Cavs team, roster, whatever, could have even beat the Utah Jazz if they made it to the finals. No way the Jazz was going to make it to the finals. But I don't even think the Cavs could beat Utah in 7 games. Because the team that the Jazz beat, the Thunder, are essentially the same team on offense as the Cavs. Think about it. Only real difference is being LeBron is vastly smarter than the focal point of OKC's offense, Russell Westbrook. But OKC has vastly more talent than the Cavs. Not all that big difference though. But it ain't really that hard of a take if you do the math on this shit, man. Carry the one. Cavs got other bullshit going on, like being able to have a headline talking about Rodney Hood watching old games and old highlights from Utah and shit, which probably just means he hates the Cavs and wish he was back in Utah, which I think is an indictment of Cleveland as the team, the organization, and the city, because anytime you in Cleveland, which I haven't heard to be that great of a city, especially according to Joakim Noah, you're in Cleveland and you want to go back to Salt Lake City, Utah. I don't know, man. If LeBron ain't leaving, it at least sounds like a situation he needs to leave. But Tristan Thompson getting disrespected in the post game, getting asked, do they feel helpless guarding Steph Curry and the Warriors? Man, that is so fucked up of a question. I mean, I know we all need them headlines in the moments, especially niggas like me in this world. But how you gonna ask that? They ain't even know. There's very little integrity in that question, man. You gonna ask them, do they feel helpless, man? It's like you tell you know what I'm saying, you always a stranger, you're like, hey, the stranger's like, hey man, you look down. And you're like, yeah man, I just caught my girlfriend cheating. And then Mr. Stranger is like, oh, you think his dick was bigger than yours? Hey, what the fuck? The fuck is that? That shit is fucked up, man. Yeah, this shit ain't good, man. So I'm hoping for a sweep, man, so we can just go ahead and get the free agency, make all of these crazy moves, reshuffle the deck on the whole league, and have a league that's even more exciting next year. So excited that I'm gonna be watching summer league and preseason and all of that shit. But shout out to my guy Nixon, who suggested the Hoopcast expand to Big Three coverage during the summer and shit. So we are going to try to develop that and see what we can make out of that. And look forward to hearing my guy Official Nix more on the Hoopcast. And we also got the Wednesday segment coming up, starting this Wednesday. If it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, I will have my guy Train in St. Louis on and shit talking about racism in sports and NBA and NFL and all of that shit. So I look forward to another expansion of the Heezy Hoopcast. But before I get up out of here, I kind of want to get into this new Kanye album a little bit. I've been bumping it over and over and over, admittedly. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I had to really, when you really fuck with a nigga, you probably gonna give it that many shots. So I was bumping it over and over and over to really, catch all the nuances, see what I missed before I made a judgment, before I made a final verdict on the shit. And I know many people ain't fucking with Kanye right now, and I do not discourage you from your disbelief, your non-belief in Kanye at this moment. I understand. If you ain't fucking with Kanye, I understand. I get it. Kanye is just one of those artists that was just huge for me coming up and shit. When I was starting off in the music and shit, I started off rapping, and then I started making beats, and my beats was booty cheeks around my senior year of high school. Then I got into college, and then graduation dropped, and I just remembered that album giving me a whole new perspective on production and making beats and what a song can sound like. And that was a pivotal moment in life, and our most favorite music take us back to those pivotal moments where we remember exactly what we was doing and what the music meant to us. And graduation, from the intro track Good Morning, from the drums on it to the vibe of it to, everybody's intros was back then just rah, 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 and I'm going to take over the game this year and I'm killing these niggas, and it's just super dramatic. And he came with the upbeat kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, the positive feeling Good Morning track, and then bodied the track. That shit, Kanye as an artist always takes me back to those moments and shit. So, when you come up like that, I'm the first to admit it, a la Kanye. You wanna, believe in people, not believe in them like you believe in Jesus, not believe in them like you believe they gonna pay your bills or something, but just believe in their talent and shit, because we all do, We all believe in sports. We believe in musicians. We believe in talented people who do what we can't do. A la the same way people remember what J.R. Smith was his first few years in Denver, and somehow try to deflect all criticism and act like he deserves this $20 million contract he's getting currently to play alongside LeBron while playing 30 minutes and scoring 5 points in the NBA Finals. So, of course, JR didn't say anything as stupid as Kanye has said in the media, but he has just as many moments that make critics be no less of a fan of him. So try to understand it from that standpoint if you think, why is he checking out the Kanye album? Why is he listening to it in depth? And why is he talking about it on the basketball podcast? But anywho, as for the album, my final verdict on the album is that Kanye is a master of rhythm, but the soul has left the building. He can always get the right grooves. The beats is always knocking. His flows is never outdated or sloppy on the beat. But what he's actually saying while he's riding these insane beats perfectly means little to nothing, especially these days, especially on this album. Yes, he has mastered his formula of insane sonics with an emphasis on sheer creativity and just selection of guests and features. But content-wise, with the words, the meat and potatoes of the music that actually makes you feel something. It feels like he went from speaking for people, his first 3 albums, to the last 3 albums being this echo chamber of neurotic, self-absorbed thoughts. It went from speaking about people and situations and life to, I'm Kanye, I'm going through this. I'm Kanye, I'm about to go crazy on them. I'm Kanye, y'all got me fucked up. I'm still Kanye. And wow. The last 3 songs on this Ye album, though, was banging. Right when I thought it was kind of like a sonically pleasing snoozer album, them last 3 tracks came in, which is, I believe, I can't remember the song with that comes before Ghost Town. It's a song before Ghost Town. And then the last song is Violent Crimes, which is all about women and daughters and shit, which was, I felt like, a really positive, the way Yeezus ended with Bound 2, and it kind of was like, oh man, like a happy ending at the end of a sad story and shit. It kind of felt like this on this song times 1,000 and shit. The message was probably the most potent message of anything on the album. Plus it was classic Kanye saying shit like he hope his daughters grow up to have shapes more like him rather than his mom's shape. And you know that's retarded, but you know niggas is really sickos and thirst bags out here. So if the whole album sounded like that final track, Violent Crimes, with fucking Willow Smith and Dej Loaf on that shit, it's a crazy lineup. Where did he even find Dej Loaf? Where did he dig her up from? Has she been hiding out in Wyoming with him the whole time? But that last song, if the whole album sounded like that, man, it would have been probably well worth all of the contrived media bullshit that he had going on with Trump and MAGA hats. And it probably would have supported his position of, hey, I'm just like, love everybody and go forth and be successful. You know, the whole album was kind of about Kanye. But also that track, All Mine, with Ty Dolla $ign and whoever else, that motherfucker's a banger too, you know. But definitely didn't shake the ground, and I definitely think it's time to start marking. Like, Kanye has a big enough catalog to kind of market in sections and shit. And I think you got the first 3 albums, College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation. Then you got the middle 2 albums, 808s and Heartbreaks, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And then these last 3 well-produced Kanye narcissism exercises. Yeezus, The Life of Pablo, and Ye. And these last three albums kind of consist of, we don't know what the fuck Ye is doing, Ye. Like, we always knew Kanye was retarded and shit, but now it's just he's being deliberately subversive and confusing, and it's not even enough in the music to kind of warrant the confusion. So that's kind of what I feel like at this point. But anywho, I don't know if that makes any sense, but those are my thoughts on the Ye album. And I need to go check out that Ray Shrimmer. Still ain't checked that out. Still need to check that Super Duper Kyle out. Tell me if it's anything else I need to check out too. Alright, I'm out this bitch. Class dismissed.